All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and we are back with Candace Owens exposing Kamala Harris. And you know why? Because the mainstream media would not do it. CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABCC, none of them is going to do what Candace Owens is doing. She is exposing the mess out of Kamala Harris because she's lying about her race, lying about her heritage, won't really show who her grandma is, putting somebody else's grandma in her book to try to make black people feel like she has a black family, which we know that she's lying because she's on video saying she's Indian and agreeing to it. And now all of a sudden she's black. And then Candace didn't like the part where the media went after Janet Jackson because she said she heard that Kamala Harris was not black. She never even said she wasn't. She said she heard, and the media just straight went off on Janet Jackson. And from there, Kamala Harris has been getting destroyed by Candace Owens ever since. And like I said, Candace Owens is not slowing down. She said she's going to get to the bottom of it. So like I said, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We about to dive straight into this. And this is the point where Candace Owens is even showing when what Kamala Harris even said about Michael Jackson, and then she's gonna get to the point about how she's still lying about her heritage. So make sure y'all watch this entire video because this one right here is crazy and I don't want y'all to miss out. Make sure you stay to the end. Like I said, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. And without further ado, let's go.
And why there are certain people who are protected. And so at that time, they were going around asking a lot of powerful people what their opinions were on the Michael Jackson case. And one of those people who was asked was Kamala Harris, then the deputy city attorney in San Francisco. And here's what she had to say.
That could mean life in prison. And cases like this can depend on the testimony of the
In general, the child will be able to recall and recollect with some detail the incident, and that is persuasive to a jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Ooh, betting against Michael Jackson, who was eventually acquitted of all charges. But what's really stunning is when you juxtapose this to what Donald Trump said at the time, then just a real estate magnate. Take a listen.
Michael's been a long-time resident of Trump Tower, and last night the Donald strongly reiterated his defense of Jackson with Larry King by going after the accuser's mother.
She's had plenty of experience at going after people, and she goes after them viciously and violently, and I saw a story and I read another story about some of the things she's done, and I don't believe it.
But you know what it's like when an indictment comes down.
It's tough.
It's presumption.
It's tough. It's tough to win. But I have a feeling he's going to win, Larry. The interesting thing is I've known Michael from many different standpoints, and Michael would spend a lot of time with my kids. I have beautiful kids, and at the time, like at Mar-a-Lago, and even in Trump Tower, the kids were very young. Michael would come, play with the kids. He just loved children. He was not a child, and I am certain of that. He loved children. He'd play with my son Eric and my son Donald, and he'd just play with them forever. He loved children, but he was not a... You know, that whole final saga of Neverland and the police and what they did was, I think, a very, very bad part of Michael's life.
Just incredible. When you really look back on that, it just makes you love Trump even more because he was always standing up to the media complex. And that's really what it was that came down on Michael Jackson. Like I said, the record execs had power and he was fighting them and he was winning against them. He was going to eventually control the Beatles catalog. Next thing you know, he ends up dead. He first gets accused of, and his entire legacy is destroyed with accusations that did not win in court. He, like I said, was acquitted. Go back, watch that episode that we did on him and inform yourself on that. But it's incredible to see that. And people are now replaying these clips and are feeling some type of way about Kamala Harris. And I think the majority of people just want to know, who is this woman and who does she work for? Well, we left off on quite a note last weekend, or at the end of last week, rather, we have received a lot of information. You guys have been emailing us incessantly. I know I'm not responding to the emails. I am reading them and going through them. I'm creating this really long timeline. I'm also trying to be careful not to overwhelm you guys with too much information because there's so many moving pieces and they all have so many names. And I've just been carefully organizing things because we have time. We have a little bit of a runway ahead of the election, and I want to make sure that I get it right. So we left off interested in Vioris Cambridge Harris McPherson, okay? And this is a woman that we believe is Kamala's grandmother, or her mother, really. She looks so much like her. But anyways, her true grandmother, not Beryl, a woman who I believe looks a little too much like Kamala and has been rather conspicuously just left out of the family Jamaican heritage story. So I'm just going to show you the side-by-side of Kamala and Vioris. And we then learned, because someone pointed it out to us, that actually Vioris's birth name is Iris. I can't believe I missed this. I produced the birth certificate and obviously did not read it for details. But yes, if you look at her birth certificate again, it actually says in that second column that her birth name is Iris. Now that explains why whoever created her profile on Ancestry.com put Iris in parentheses. On that far side, it says Vioris Anita, and that's her baptismal name. As I've been going through all of these documents, I realized baptismal names are very important, or were at this time, because they then used them and pretended that it was their legal names on other documents. But yeah, so when we see that, and we go, okay, so we now have a grandma Iris. That's very interesting. We know that this woman was born in 1927 in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, and her last name was Cambridge. And I'm wondering, and I'm sure you're wondering, could she be the Miss Iris that Donald refers to so affectionately throughout his piece? He claims in that piece, by the way, that Miss Iris's ancestry is unknown to him, right? He also claims that that Iris that he mentions is his grandmother. So it would be Kamala's great-grandmother and not her grandmother, which I suspect she is. And I'm going to show you the extremely black woman that we are shown a picture of. A picture that he claims he captured of Kamala sitting on Miss Iris's lap. Now, I have received, by the way, a note from a woman who is in her 70s who swears that she knew this family and that that woman there worked for the family. As we work to get in touch with her, she's a bit older. Trust me, I am on it. I've reached out. I'm going to actually place a phone call later on today to try to see if she'll pick up her phone, if she's easier to connect with that way, to get to the bottom of whether or not she really does know this family. She claims that she worked for the family for so long, didn't want to leave, and that is, in fact, a picture of the help, which would be wild. Absolutely wild if we can get somebody to confirm that. What we do now know for a fact is that Iris Cambridge, so going back to, I'm going to have to start calling them like White Iris and Black Iris, like just because I think it's easier for you guys to know who I'm speaking about. So White Iris, who died in Broward County, we know for a fact now that she is related to Kamala Harris, and I'm going to tell you how we determine that fact. It is now undeniable. Because when Kamala Harris was effectively handed the torch from Biden after they staged an effective coup back in August, CNN couldn't help themselves and immediately ran an article, instantly reminding the world that Kamala's black. She's Jamaican. Instantly, let's blackify her immediately. Here is the article that they ran. And it essentially had a title like about her Jamaican roots or whatever. And embedded in the article, it was a man named Sherman Harris. And he was speaking about his second cousin, Kamala. I'm just going to read this to you. It says, 3.5 years ago, Sherman Harris gathered together a clutch of family and friends at his home on a hilltop here in rural Jamaica to watch his cousin step into history. As Kamala took the oath of office as Vice President of the United States, the room erupted in screams and tears, he recalled. Quote, even talking to you now, I feel some sort of tears from my eyes too. You know, Sherman Harris, 59, said in an interview with CNN, it's like tears of joy. So later throughout that article, he
clipped. And it's funny that CNN ran with that story quick. No sooner she took Joe Biden's spot, they automatically start running with she's black. I mean, this is just, even George Slopinopoulos was trying to scream at Byron Donalds for people calling out Kamala Harris for trying to say all of a sudden now she's black when she's been in Jamaica for the long time. It's like, come on. She's India. And it's like it just don't make sense. So they had to try to run with something to try to trick black folks. And that's what they tried to do, and they still trying to do that. It's like, come on, she says she's Indian. And then all of a sudden now she's black. Boy, I'm telling you, it just, with them sitting up here trying to lie about this, to try to trick people into voting for you because of your skin color. We ain't voting. I'm sick of identity politics. Forget that. We are on policies. What are your policies? Which she have none. She still haven't answered. We know where Donald Trump stands. Whether you like him or not, we know where he's standing. She is still dancing around all the questions, ain't answering anything, and been just straight lying this entire time. And that's the reason why Candace Owens is in her bag right now. She's not playing around with Kamala Harris, because Kamala is not going to come out and tell us the truth. CNN is not going to tell us the truth. They ain't going to cover it. So that's why it takes people like Candace Owens to bring us this information.
Claimed that Oscar Harris, that would be Kamala's grandfather, Donald Harris's father, and his father, Newton Harris, were brothers. So that would make Kamala his second cousin. Okay. Now, if my theory is correct, that would mean that he knew White Iris very well, because we know that White Iris and Oscar Harris were married until death did him part, until he died. Well, guess what we found? That same cousin Sherman Harris, who was featured in that CNN piece just from August. We were crawling through Facebook. We found his Facebook page, and he posted a sweet tribute to his aunt Iris, White Iris. It was a Facebook posting of White Iris's obituary, and beneath that obituary posting, he wrote this tribute to her. There it is. You can see the third one down says, Sherman Harris, "Rip, Auntie, you're never forgotten. Lasting memories of shared episodes."
Wow.
That is the exact same Sherman Harris pictured in the CNN article. And again, this was posted under the obituary of the Iris Harris that died in Broward County. So this confirms that Iris, the White Iris, is indeed related to Kamala and Donald Harris. If Sherman is telling the truth, this would make Iris her grandmother officially. Kamala Harris must answer for this. She absolutely...
Exactly. You heard what Candace Owens. She must answer for this. I'm telling y'all now, Candace Owens is not playing around. But is Kamala Harris going to answer to this? More likely not. Because she's just going to keep lying and lying to the public to try to lie her way back in office. But she has to answer to this. So who is this woman that she put in her book? She put this woman in her book that I guess supposed to be black. But it's like, Kamala, you weren't born to 1964. That woman passed in 1960. So who in the world, or somebody else's grandma that you took a picture with in that book, and you didn't put this woman up in there? So she got some explaining to do here.
Absolutely must answer this. You cannot be posting up pictures of you with the black woman saying that it's your grandma, okay? You cannot do that. And then come to find out there was another woman who you look much more like, and we have all of the evidence in the world that she is your true grandmother. That is just, it is too wild. It is just too out of pocket. We are going to need answers to that. Because if what Sherman Harris, who was interviewed by CNN, is saying is true, then there is no room here. There's no situation in which Black Beryl, this woman, is her legitimate grandmother, okay? No. And by the way, I want to say, just looking at this Beryl, she in no way favors Donald Harris.
Sure don't.
Let's get a side-by-side of Beryl and Donald Harris. Like, what are we even speaking about? If you put this together...
Ain't that crazy? She took a picture with a black woman and tried to say that was her grandma to try to persuade people that she's black. Like, this is just insane. Kamala Harris has to... she got to explain herself. It's like, come on, man. Who grandma is she using to try to say that's her grandma, just to try to trick black people to say the thing that she's black because she's in a picture with a black woman that she's claiming is her grandma, but she left out the other woman that we just found. So it's like, come on, man.
How are you getting a Beryl from this woman and Oscar Harris? I don't see it. Now, again, genes can be funny, but then when you put him next to our White Iris, I go, okay. Look at those squinty eyes here. I could see a little bit of a similarity here.
You can.
He does seem to somewhat favor her. Again, now we're just believing our own eyes and asking the right questions. What we do know for a fact is that woman on the right, Iris Harris, is related to Kamala Harris, and we need answers, okay? We need answers. Now, also last week, we left you on a tidbit. We were searching for a Christopher Harris. Do you guys remember that? I'm going to briefly jog at your memory here. Christopher Harris was at the time, anonymous person who signed off on Oscar Harris's death certificate. And we were just imagining, okay, we're looking for information on Donald. We know Oscar Harris was married to Iris, Vioris, whatever you want to call her. And I would just imagine that Donald would have been there by his father's side when he died, because when your father dies, you tend to be by their side. Well, I'm going to pull up that death certificate again. This is, again, Oscar Harris's death certificate. And you can see on the bottom there, number 16. If you go right there to the bottom, it says qualification, meaning the person filling this out. The qualification is that he is the son of Oscar Harris.
Okay.
And then it says something about the body being buried. And he signs it off. And we were going, okay, who is this Christopher Harris? Like, this would mean that Donald Harris has a brother. This means that this guy would be definitively be Kamala's uncle. Where is he in the world? While we were able to locate Chris, he was also featured in the Kingston Gleaner. That has given us a lot of information, the newspaper, in an article that was dated back to June 24th, 1983, announcing the Council of Jamaicans in Ontario, Canada. I'm going to show you a picture, okay? See these pictures of these people. That one in the middle is Chris Harris. Presumably, that would be Oscar Harris's son that he had with Iris Vioris Harris, okay? It says in the bottom there,
it is just incredible how Candace is finding this stuff. Now, she did say she is getting, like some help, like some people that's inboxing and helping out, and that's great, especially when you got help. I'm like, come on, boy. She is getting down to the bottom of this. And I can't see how. And we know for a fact, like, because Candace videos is doing a lot of views. So I know the mainstream media see these videos that Candace Owens is doing, but they're going to try to ignore it because they don't want people to get a hold of it and start seeing it. So I'm hoping Fox News, grab it and post it. Then that'll force the mainstream media to start answering questions. But see, that's the thing, though. They ignoring this.
The formed Council of Jamaicans, and it tells you, again, from left to right, that you're looking at a man named Bromley Armstrong, and next to him is Bev Hayden, and that person who looks rather fair-skinned in the middle is Chris Harris. I find it rather off-putting that Donald Harris does not mention many of his siblings in his piece about his Jamaican heritage. It seems like he's continually leaving out the white people. Yep. That just makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
That's the same thing Candace, that's the same thing Kamala Harris is doing. That's the same thing Kamala Harris is doing. Trying to leave out the white people and trying to just show number black people to make it seem like she's black. Like, I mean, just straight lying to the public. This is sad. How do the voters feel? All y'all that's out there that's voting for Kamala Harris and she's sitting up there lying to your face about being black when she's literally on video saying she's Indian. Now, one time that she said she was black. And what she just did to this black mom, make sure y'all go check out the video that I posted yesterday.
Say it's racist. Just abandon an entire side of your family. Like, don't you find that quite weird that piece so much focuses on introducing and discussing everyone who's black, but you leave out your own siblings? We've thus far, by the way, been able to locate 2 other confirmed siblings. So these would be the siblings of Donald Harris, the children of Oscar Harris and Iris, our white Iris Harris, who died in Broward County. He doesn't mention them. Did Kamala have a relationship with them growing up? I don't know. And I want to be clear, we still cannot find much information about Donald Harris himself. We did find some old newspaper clippings of a Donald Harris, which we are working to confirm it's him, that was involved in a lot of plays, in theater, and in drama in Jamaica. And I'm going, okay, well, the piece that I read about him, he was constantly speaking about the farm and the lessons on the farm. It would be wild if he turned out to be another theater kid, because you know that I have had my fill of theater kids and them being put into positions of power, a la President Zelensky, Justin Trudeau, Emmanuel Macron. So I'm really hoping that this is not the right Donald Harris, but again, we're working to confirm it.
Yeah.
Still cannot find his birth certificate. I still cannot find really anything else that would make him seem legitimate to me. Like I can't find Donald Harris, but we are still looking, we are still searching, and we're not going to stop. Now I'm going to take a quick pause here to thank one of our sponsors before we get into this next really interesting tidbit about the Kamala Harris scandal. First and foremost, I've been telling you guys about Hallow because so many people are recognizing that it is a time of marriage. Interestingly enough, is the brother of our white Iris down in Florida, okay? She had a brother named Alves, and they lived near each other in Broward County, and they were extremely close. Many of you guys pointed out to me that I missed in her obituary, and I did miss this. I don't know how I did, but there were so many pictures of her and her family and so many pictures of Alves and his wife of 68 years with Iris. They were extremely tight-knit. That was all very true. And Alvis Cambridge passed away in 2020, and in his obituary, there were some things that were of interest and sent me down various rabbit holes, and I'm still collecting that data. But I want to show you his obituary, particularly the second page of it, okay? So this is his obituary. It goes on and talks about how he, worked 6 days a week, opened a hardware store, and worked in Jamaica through 2 fires that destroyed his business. He persevered and rebuilt to the mantra that you can destroy the tree, but the roots remain untouched. Talked about how him and his wife, Vaughn, loved to travel around the world. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to speak to you guys about Vaughn. But first, I want to introduce Alves because, like I said, there's so much information. It's important to slow it down. Look at this third portion here, okay? Al would want you to know that he was a Freemason and visited many lodges around the world on his travels. He was also president of the Jockey Club for a time. Okay, so this means that when this man passed away, he wanted the world to know. This is, again, Iris's brother Alves that she came over with on a ship. We found the ship logs. I believe it was in 1958. She came over with him.
Boy, Candace Owens to find the ship logs. Something is not right. Why is it so hard to find Kamala Harris' father's birth certificate? Like what is they hiding? Did he take it off the internet to make sure wasn't nobody gonna be able to see it? Why is it so hard to find? It's easy to find everybody's birth certificate, but when you got somebody like Kamala Harris' dad that is hiding his from the public, it's like it tells you something, like they're hiding something. And I hope to God, that Candace Owens finds it, or if she can't, that some of the people that's inboxing her, that's like helping her out and stuff like that, I hope they find it so we can get to the bottom, because you got to think about it. What is they hiding? Why is it not public? And hopefully we find that out, because I guarantee you when she finds it, it's going to shock everybody. It got to be a reason why they hiding it.
On a ship, and they settled in Miami-Dade, and he wanted the world to know after he passed away that he was a Freemason and he visited many lodges around the world. Anyways, like I said, I want to just speak about that because when you see Alvis Cambridge openly put something like Freemasonry, I don't think that's a ha-ha joke after you die. No, he just was like, I'm not going to say this until I die, and then I want you guys to just publicize it. So we have someone who is likely Kamala Harris's great uncle or uncle, who is explicitly saying that he's a Freemason, and now we have a woman who is about to be president of the United States. How does that make you feel? Like I said, we don't want to overwhelm you guys. Another important part of this process is we don't want to make any mistakes by going through all of these documents too quickly, because that's what they're waiting on, right? If everyone's watching these episodes, they're seeing the numbers, they understand people are processing this. They're waiting for me to make one slip up so they can like pound and be like, she's crazy. So I'm going through everything.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. And what I like about Candace, she was like, I don't know if this is true or not, but it don't sound right. So I kind of like how she's breaking everything down. She's not saying everything she's saying is truthfully. She's just like, this seemed like it could be true. Now, I'm not saying it is. So I like the way that she's doing these episodes right here. It really opening everybody's eyes. We are all listening. We like, dang, Candace got a point. Like, she has a point. And so that's what I like, that she just ain't taking the bait. She just ain't taking everything that people sending to her and just running with it. Say, hey, I found this. This got to be true. She's not doing that. So I like how careful that, Candace is taking this, because like I said, it's opening my eyes. It's opening a lot of people's eyes. And it sounds like majority of everything she's saying is true, especially when it comes to like, why is you hiding this woman here? And who is this woman that you took a picture with? We need answers. So I like the way she's breaking everything down.
Everything very slowly and very meticulously.
Yep.
We're investigating every claim that people are making, but until we feel certain that it's correct, we're not presenting it. Tomorrow, we are going to take a closer look, however, at Kamala's alleged mother, Shyamala Goplin. There are some interesting things in her filings, some interesting things about her pursuit of citizenship in America that have come up, and we feel well equipped to discuss those things. I also wanted to tell you guys that are emailing us at info@CandaceOwens.com that there are still a few things we're looking for. So if you can find it or you come across it, please send it. One of those things is Donald Jasper Harris's birth certificate or a yearbook entry. He did list the schools that he went to. Maybe you are someone who attended those schools and you have an old yearbook. I just would like to confirm that his name has always been Donald Jasper Harris, because I can't seem to find him. Also, regarding Alvis Cambridge, our Freemason, Iris's brother, we can't locate his birth certificate. We know that he was born in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, per his naturalization document, but we can't find a birth certificate for him. And so if you can find that, please send it over. We also would like to find Alvis Cambridge's marriage certificate. He married a young woman whose name was Cynthia Yvonne Lopez. I'll say that again, Cynthia Yvonne Lopez. And we just cannot seem to locate that marriage certificate. It should be either they got married in Jamaica or they got married in the Miami, Broward County area. So if you guys can find that, please send it over. We're going to pause there on the Kamala stuff. Much more coming out more this week. We're going to completely stay on it because we are just so shocked by all of these discoveries that we're making. And by the way, I believe she's dangerous. Based on everything that I have seen, my gut instinct tells me that what I'm looking at is some sort of a well-organized communist effort to get people into America. And now I have an understanding that there's some level of Freemasonry that is involved in this. And so that makes Kamala Harris very dangerous. So we shouldn't just be laughing at this. We should recognize this woman is about to assume top office, and her feet should be held to the fire. She should have to answer questions about why she is lying about her heritage, who that Grandma Beryl, Black Beryl, and Black Iris are. Because I don't believe she's related to them, not even one drop. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, I want to...
Well, there we go right there, y'all. So, like I said, I told you before, Candace is not going to stop. She's going to keep providing us with information. And like I said, hopefully people keep sending her information, especially if they can find like a yearbook with Donald Harris in it or his birth certificate or something, because they are hiding something from the public that they don't want us to know about. And like I said before, Kamala Harris never speaks about her dad. If y'all remember at the DNC, she only spoke about her mom. She didn't say anything about her dad. You never hear her say anything about her dad. And all we know is that he was a Marxist professor, which we all know that. So it's got to be something, a reason why we can't find his birth certificate. Where does he hide? Why is Kamala Harris lying about like this black woman that she's saying is her grandmother in her book? It just, something just ain't right, because she does look more like this other woman than the woman that she showed in the book. So, and we know for a fact that Kamala Harris lies, especially the lies she is constantly telling on Donald Trump every single day about him saying very fine people on both sides. It's going to be a bloodbath if he don't win. All of those are just lies. So if you could take time out your day to sit up here and lie on Donald Trump about the simplest stuff when there's video evidence of what he really said, how can we take you serious about stuff that you put in this book and trying to play like you're black when you're on video saying you're Indian? It just don't make any sense, and we are tired of the lies, and she needs to answer these questions. And I know she see these videos. I even had a video that went viral that I reacted to with Candace, got over 3 million views. and especially the videos Candace been doing that's been getting 1 to 2 million views. And I know that Kamala Harris sees these videos, but she's gonna act like she don't because she don't want to answer to them, and the media ain't gonna hold her foot to the fire. But we shall see. Like I said, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and as Candace keep dropping these videos, I keep bringing y'all the reaction because it kind of helps Candace, like when she do these videos and then we react to them and get them out there so more people can see the videos, and that's what it's all about, man. So salute to y'all, salute to Candace Owens, and she says she's coming back with another video tomorrow, so y'all stay tuned for that. I will be bringing that video tomorrow, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel with your notifications turned on, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.